The action continues in the luxury segment. JLR has just introduced or launched its new Range Rover Velar. Now this model has already got a fantastic response, 750 bookings according to the company. And telling me about this product and the company's plans, I am talking to Rajan Amba, who is the Managing Director of Jaguar Land Rover India. Rajan, thanks for talking to us and
Thank you,
congratulations.
Thank you.
But honestly, I mean, a pretty good response. You've already got 750 bookings in the bag. So are you pleased with that? Better than expected?
Certainly. It's fantastic. We've had a great first quarter as well. 102% growth quarter on quarter. The order book is amazingly strong. 75% of our bookings are in the Range Rover Sport and the Defender category. And we've grown the order bank or the order book by about 88% over last year. And the momentum continues to remain strong even as we are almost at the end of quarter two. So I think that as a brand, we're finding our place in the hearts of the Indian consumer. Certainly in the hearts of our position in the luxury space is extremely strong, extremely aspirational and extremely desired. The traction we're seeing around Defender and now with the new Velar coming in and with the order bank already in hand, once we have all, we have the release out and we have the prices out and we have all the marketing activities in place, I think we are well on our course to double that over the next 6-8 months.
So 2023, possibly the best year ever in the history of JLR in India?
The quarter one certainly. And
suggest that
for sure, but
so nothing unforeseen along the way, which
absolutely, and we don't expect that. We can keep our fingers crossed. So I think that we're in a good place, and I think that the momentum is with us, and more importantly, from a next year perspective, also considering the launches and the plans that we have in place, and considering the way the Indian market and the consumer is evolving, I think we are perfectly positioned to have a fantastic journey for JLR in India.
Right. Talking about positioning, I mean, how do you see yourselves, with the German brands, which quite frankly dominate the luxury segment? If you take everything, I mean, is it kind of finding your own niche at an even more premium end, especially with the Range Rover products?
I think it's not so much about finding a niche, but more about redefining redefining modern luxury as seen today on the automotive industry, and which is what we have stated in our statement, that is our mission and vision for the next few years, to redefine what modern luxury is. And the traction around Range Rover and Range Rover Sport justifies that statement, that people are appreciating the perfect balance of technology and luxury within a car, as opposed to just going on one end of the spectrum, because that's what's seemingly happening in many parts of the world. I think that globally also the order books reflect that people's taste are evolving and they want choices beyond just pure tech, but also looking at a beautiful luxury experience, a silent car, a comfortable car where you can put your feet up and relax and just have a most pleasurable driving experience as well. And I think over the last few months, we've met tons of customers, and the way they've talked about the car and the experience, they're not talked about just the engine or the other aspects from a technical perspective. They really appreciated the comfort, the ride, and everything else that being in a Range Rover vehicle provides them.
Right, and again, sticking to the upper end over there, clearly, you have a pretty good market share if you look at, let's say 2 crore, 3 crore plus, thereabouts, very rarefied, very small niche.
Yeah.
But is that a space think you've kind of captured in a way? I mean, especially Range Rover doesn't have too much competition as far as that level of luxury SUV goes.
I wouldn't, I think it might be slightly premature to say capture. I think there's still a long way to go for us, but I think that certainly being there today in a strong manner and continuing to reinforce that as the aspirations of the Indian consumer grows, the wealth in their hands grows, and their desire to spend instead of save, as much as we used to do in our generation or our parents' generation. I think that's certainly playing a massive role in fueling the 60 lakh plus segment.
Right.
And a lot of the spillover obviously will happen even in the upper segment. I mean, I've just met some amazing consumers so young and so they've achieved so much at such a young age, and now they want to enjoy the finer things in life. And when they think of that, immediately, you know,
Right.
it goes to the Defender or the Range Rover.
And you've got very strong products on the Land Rover side, Range Rover side, but clearly Jaguar, I think there's one model right now, F-Pace. I mean, what are plans for Jaguar? And clearly it must be a very small proportion of your sale. Is it about maybe 10, 15, 20% just to get a
No,
sense?
it's certainly a small proportion, but it's a very strong proportion. I've not seen over the last, based on last year and this year, we're not seeing any decline. Interestingly, on brand scores, Jaguar has such a strong history and heritage that it scores very, very well with Indian consumers. And I think that everyone knows, and the company has openly stated, that the Jaguar brand is being redefined, reconstructed. New cars will get launched over the next couple of years, new retail formats for the Jaguar brand. So I think that the Jaguar brand is on the cusp of a new beginning.
Right.
Suffice to say.
And we know electrification is what the brand is going to be. So I think that's something we can look forward to in the coming years.
Certainly.
Because that's globally been announced. Yeah.
No, certainly. And we've announced the launch of the first BEV
Right.
Range Rover, which will happen in March 25 globally, and then
Right. Come here as well.
we'll start to see it in India as well. So I think that there's no getting away from that. Electrification is here to stay, and the consumers are demanding it. The interest, very clearly, we're seeing that in that segment in India and abroad. And a lot of the government legislations are also encouraging and helping us move towards that. And the faster we get into it, the better.
Right. And looking at your volumes, let's say this year, looking at the way you've done in Q1, end up with 4,000 plus, still a long way off from the other luxury car makers. Is it because you are operating in the higher price points? Probably your cheapest car right now is in the 70 lakh bracket, nothing cheaper which the others have. And are you seeing or want as your aspiration for a higher volume? And just to understand how do you want to see both the brands growing?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, there is a tremendous market under the price point that you mentioned that we are not in at this point in time. At the same time, our focus continues to be in the segments that we are in, because we still feel there's a lot more headroom for us to grow there, while we work through plans to see what can be possibly done, if at all, at the segment. But there is no question of diluting the brand's position or repositioning that we defined in the Reimagine strategy, that even if we were to come in at that price point, even if it has to be in redefining what is defining what is the definition of modern luxury in that price point. So
right.
that is of paramount to us as a brand, because that has given us a lot of success, and we want to make sure that we stay the path.
Right. And the other thing is obviously going forward, more volumes, CKD operations. Just wanted to understand, what are plans for that with more models? I mean, are we going to see a more kind of assembly operations happening more and more, or at the top end are some models just too niche for them to be assembled here?
No, frankly speaking, I will not comment on this question, simply because this is something that we have to work through internally, and we'd like to make sure that when we do have something, that we can have a similar big bang event and have all of you back here again.
Right.
But certainly I think it's fair to say that local assembly operations have been extremely successful for this category.
Right.
And we already have a significant aspect of that business already coming from our local operations.
Yeah, I mean, Discovery Sport is a good volume product. With
and
that,
we expect to grow that over the next few years.
Right. And lastly, Rajan, just on the network, okay, smaller network, being very honest, also a little feedback, on certain issues as well, just being very honest. I mean, is that one focus area? Work needs to be done on the network as well.
It is certainly a focus area like many others, but I am not going to disagree with you. We need to expand our network, but we need to do it in a calibrated
Even
manner.
the quality of the network is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think that's always work in progress.
Right.
It is not a simple cookie cutter operation, because our country is many countries in one.
Yeah.
Consumer expectations are different, partner behaviors are different, but certainly calibrated expansion is important for the growth. I think the customer experience is an ongoing, non-stop journey. There are a lot of new initiatives coming out in terms of look, feel, and other aspects of our experience that we are working on both globally and domestically, and of course expanding our workshop accesses and and so on and so forth. I think that's in many ways, as a famous person said, every day is day one.
Right.
Right. So in that area specifically, as far as experience and service is concerned, every day is day one for us at the company.
Rajan, thank you very much for a very candid conversation, and
Lovely.
wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks.